And this is gonna be the first match starting into the Shadowcup Showmatch Developers Special Edition. Jules and Danny against Lisk and Curring. Let's go.
I like the Lisk tag already.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's the same like Danny has in his Steam profile. You can add a little text, right? And I think he says something like, if you have any questions too, and then some games he worked on, go to this and that site, because it apparently a lot of people go for it. And there it is.
Oh, lock-in bazooka.
Awesome, awesome. I like it.
Perfect.
And Garga lock-in for Curring. That's actually interesting. Do you think a Garga lock-in is worth it at the moment?
No. Not at all. But in her elo range, it's whatever. Like, it's really solid early game unit. But in the high elo, you start, it's free income. Not really good. Lock in Gargoyle.
Yeah, I kind of would agree, right? Gargoyle overall is not the best to go for. You do have a very strong early game unit, as you pointed out, but you do have some massive flaws coming later into the game, especially after 7. You basically do not really want Gargoyles or Green Devils anymore.
Look at Jules YOLO roll. Like,
yeah,
you would
pretty good.
Almost pick the roll. Like,
this is
Berserker with Mask and Madman, all you need.
Like, you probably don't want to have the Disciple and Halo. Like, one of those units at least can be a change. But apart from this, Jules' YOLO roll is insane, and he still does have the full income, which means he did not use his reroll so far. And we even see now the column, as you can see down there at the very right? You now see whether a player did a reroll or not, which is amazing. So there's a lot of quality of life changes. At the very right, of the bottom box. The little dice.
one. Okay.
So they all have the reroll left over, and we're gonna head right into the first openers. We have Danny on your Sora. Wonder he actually managed to get it with his greed. The trash talk already begins in the chat. I love it.
Good bazooka roll as well, I think. Like, he has the 2 good tanks, and then just Zeus with, say, Aquas. So I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think overall it looks really good. The openers are looking really, really solid so far for all of them. I think nobody can actually be sad about their roll, right? Then he just have some sorts of AoE together later with the Banana Bunk Flower Mask, which could be good. 14 especially gonna be rough for him. I probably least like the roll from Lisk, because there's not that much of synergy besides some early game units that somehow work together. Zeus and Devilfish, for example. Later on the Batcher for 7. But I think apart from this, his role isn't too amazing.
And I think you really like Curring role, right? Like, you really like good fan with the Tempest, Halo, and just not anymore.
Like, when there was a late game meta and I played a lot of Chaos, yes, I was. It definitely was.
Oh no, stream.
Is it broken?
Oh, it's back. It's back now, I think.
Okay. I loved it when it was like the late game meta. I played Chaos a lot of times, and I think I ended always somewhat with Halo and Tempest in my role, as you just said. But now it's just way too weak. Like, Halo at the moment is just one of the weakest units overall. Because of the ramp.
Alright. I just thought you were still fan, but I guess not
the
anymore.
The great, yeah.
I'm a little bit sad we don't see the new unit yet, but hopefully we're gonna see them more in the next games.
On one hand, I'm sad about it. On the other hand, it's so trash, especially the 3rd upgrade. So I really hope we don't see it, because this will just be a fiesta.
Like, yeah, I played one game today. It's the upgraded unit. And then I licked full waves all the time, so it was a really rough game for me.
But do you know, Lisk is such a chooser. Look at his 7 workers already, and he's saving. Like, he's gonna give Danny such a hard time, especially since Danny, he does not look good on 5 at all, while getting saved on by Lisk, who's having the worker advantage. I really love it so far. Like, he is known for his Zeus gameplay, and he really shows us. Like, that's amazing.
That's really, really good mid-team save, and he's gonna try to punish
Ooh,
Yozora.
imps. I'm not happy with the imps though. Like, a Hermit would have been so much better. Hermit Dragon Turtle, for example, would have been really nice to go for.
He's probably expecting like Danny to go upgrade his buckler. Then imps are really good.
That's true, obviously. Well, what I see getting out? Imps double snail is likely going to be the send, and we as well have a send from Curring, which is going to be Dino Snail, I assume. And Lisk and Jules, who is going to have to protect his mate. Well, he doesn't look like he's gonna do the best, right? He does have the Mudman in the split, yes, but his Berserker might tank a little too much to actually survive. Oh, the Dino though, on the right side. So the Berserker just kiting it away, the Mudman tanking it for a long, long time, and maybe the Berserker actually manages to survive this.
No, don't look on the right. So, okay, it's clearing, thankfully.
Yeah, but, well, it's a
It's
boss
looking
lead.
really scary.
Jules actually
perfect
holding...
positioning from Jules. Holy moly.
Yeah.
What a god.
Yeah, Jules actually managed to clear this very, very well. I think the overall league from Danny can be held by Jules, which is amazing for them. And we see the shift, right? We had 51 probability to, or 51% for Lisk and Curring to win before that wave, and now it shifted by 5% points towards Jules and Danny that are now, oh, it's actually shifted by 10% points. That is a high favor for them.
It was really clutch hold from Jules, like perfect positioning in the end. And Danny did good job to go for the honey flower instead of upgrading his buckler on 5, so he managed to hold very well.
Yeah, he got really lucky, right, not getting the hermit, because if he did the honey flower and did get the hermit, I think this would have looked a lot worse. Because
I think if he get a flower, he's leaking full wave, like he's not
hermit,
giving anything.
Yeah, exactly. I think it could either be like a full wave league, or it could just barely be enough, but I think it would have been a full wave league for him, and this would have definitely crushed their game. And this would have been a huge favor for Lisk and Curring. That are now looking a little bit weaker at this exact position, especially getting out imps on wave 7.
What do you think about imps on 7?
Well, I mean, the main tanks for both Lisk and Curring are natural. There's no real defense for 7 so far, so I think imps are in that term fine, but overall obviously imps on 7 is like, I don't know, not the best play, because the wave already offers enough magic damage in most cases.
Yeah, like for example, you should probably go for some more pierce damage to counter any good units on 7.
So
only thing you can be unlucky is if they pull up the banana bank, then it will be bad.
So in a high elo game, what would happen is that, well, you either go for income sense, or you predict your opponent to play something that is good against wave 7-8. Banana bank, you mentioned it, a doomsday machine, you could go for a batcher. In this case, you would always send some units that counted, right? You said it, for example, pierce damage, you might go for brutes to counter banana bank, and doomsday machine a little bit more efficient. But I think the imps worked out pretty well in the end, and both the players league. But I think there's still some flaws, right? For example, Lisk, he's not changing up his Seraphim to a Devilfish, which would have offered extra tankiness for him. And this helped him out pretty much.
Exactly. And now we see the big lead from Jules and Danny after very good hold on 5 and punish them on 7. So that was very well played from them. So
Jules only gives them a 36% chance to still win this game. So this is actually a very hard shift in favor of Jules and Danny now. Like, is there any chances you can like clearly see at this point, where there's like insane weak ways for Jules and Danny, or where the comeback could just be possible, especially in regard of the Mastermind options with Allowance, Press the Attack, and Empire.
Where I see like big weakness on 11 maybe, because they can send like big, like something like a ram that can
Yeah.
really destroy Danny, and you can also league a Juice. But I also like the suggestion from Toykan. He wants to buff Toykan, or we're gonna see the buff of Zeus. But I think Lisk is a little bit late with the buff, because it should be in these patch notes already.
Well, maybe we'll have some downtime after the game, like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
New patch, and then.
We're gonna see a quick dot fix.
Well, I think I have to agree, right? Zeus are extremely weak at the moment. They're definitely underwhelming as a unit. So, I same as you. I think the buff for Zeus already did take a lot too long, and it's still not there yet. Well,
let's see.
We have everyone shift, by the way, which is amazing, because I was sure that there's gonna be some plays around this wave 9. We have so many players looking bad. We have actually Lisk is not looking great, Curring's not looking great, Danny was really not looking great at all. Jules double hardened, so this is gonna be a 10, I guess.
There's for sure gonna be 10. Like Jules only has one good unit, and it's a Berserker, and it should die quite quickly on the next wave, because he has the double Dihard and Madman, so, and he can't even upgrade his Berserker right now.
So you could upgrade the Berserker with some Swedish pawn shop, but what is very important is that if you have the Fatalizer, you still want, especially your Golem, even though it's dehardened, to tank, right? So he would still need to get some sort of upper split to the right side, and since that's just not possible, he's gonna choose the Berserker and still gonna go for the upper split.
I also like the fly from Lisk into Danny. That's really smart send from him.
Can you explain why? Like, why is he not just going for some tanks, for example?
Well, the Polarizer is really good because his whole build is like no damage, so he don't need to add anything more. And also, if you send like melee stuff, then his mask and his flower will just kill the sand, so it's not too much effective. But with 4 eyes, you get a guaranteed big leak. Like this is a so big leak right now, and also shutdown.
Yeah, the shutdown is very important. I think due to all the king ups, Lisk and Curring are able to survive this. And what is very important is Jules and Danny, they don't have the attack damage king ups, only the AoE one. So they take a lot of damage, especially with the 4 eyes surviving here all the time due to 2 bosses being alive. And now Lisk already was thinking in advance, healing is buffed, right? And what do we see? There's 1 heal point for them, and this is gonna win them the game. No, but
for sure,
gonna help them.
The percentage is also shifted quite heavily because they did the 1 king up of healing.
Yeah. Well, honestly, so the game is fully open now, right? It could go either way. The thing is, we have Lisk and Curring, they're playing it passively, while we have Danny and Jules, they are gonna try for the hardcore send. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a big 12 send, which is just very strong these days. So I could imagine that's gonna happen, but Curring, she's overvaluing, which is insane. Is this stream already down? Are you choking?
Yes, it's down.
What the hell?
Better internet in July, I guess.
Well, my internet is... Okay, give me a second.
Sure. It's back. It's back. We are back. And yeah, we see the send. Send is coming on wave 12. Lisk and Curring is saving, but they take the Elevance versus PTA. So let's see if they can hold, because if they can hold, they definitely can win on wave 14.
100% agree. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, especially Curring, who is having quite some value, right? There's a lot of consoles around the Tempest, which is kind of frightening me because there's still no split. but they do have maybe the slight chance to somehow survive it. The Sens aren't the best, right? There's imps, but we don't see pack leaders, which is something you kind of should try to get.
Like Koring is really strong on this wave. She's like full pierce for 45,
And
so I am expecting her to hold quite easily.
There is a DPS banana bunk. What can possibly go wrong? The problem is that Lisk is not looking great at all, so she will have to do some additional work down at the bottom, and I'm a little bit unsure about this because there's 9 units. Well, and there's a lot of attacks, so I think like if there's like 5 units, that's an easy hold, but 9 units that are going to the king might be a bit too much. Oh yeah, this is just about... Oh no, it's not.
Oh my god.
It was the 1 HP. The 1 heal. I told you.
Look at this. Karen is sending pack leader, Dino, Lisk is saving, so there's some
Lisk is gonna go for the Kraken.
miscommunication.
No, there's gonna be Kraken from Lisk.
Kraken? Okay. Why don't you send just a ram here?
That was just a prediction I gave after he missed to send a ram. Well, obviously a ram would be a good send here, or maybe even a full aura could be great. But I just wonder, why are they sending on 13 while Jules is looking so good there?
Please send. Oh no.
Well, it's actually good. It's actually fine.
Wow.
Because they will survive. And Lisk is just still saving, so if Kering is not suiciding, they could still win later on. Well, sorry everyone for the internet crash. I have no clue why this happened. I moved my router even closer to the window now. Let's hope there's no more issues with this.
So yeah, Jules is also holding, and now is Lisk sending double ogre. So I think that this was big blunder from them. They should just go together on 14, but I think they just thought they are dead. But they had the clutch heal, so I don't know.
They had the clutch heal.
I thought it was like well thought with the 1 king up on heal from Lisk. I thought they have it.
Well, I'm really curious about the scent from this. Right, the scent does not make any sense apart from the fact that there's no mole or no pack leader. The split scent just doesn't make sense. It seems like they really don't want to end this game anytime. So I don't know, because we have Lisk looking awful on wave 16, and I'm pretty sure after the send against Danny, the next send is gonna be 16. So we have Lisk looking awful 16. We have Kering being on value. She pushed some after the next wave, so maybe the trick was the following: Lisk sending now, making Danny build for 16. And this way they are actually able to undercut on 15, because Lisk at least is looking great on 15. Maybe that's the idea behind it, and if it is, it would be awesome. It would be awesome to see, but I'm not sure whether Lisk and Karen can actually hold themselves, since we already see there's gonna be sense in witches.
Witches in Shadowcup. I think Shadow is really happy to see this send. Maybe double witch? No. Okay, double witch from Jules. Let's go.
Let's go. Think what can possibly go wrong here. I'm pretty sure the double witch actually is a problem, because it's not gonna give you the pressure against Lisk to really leak this one fast, because we can see in reverse we have Lisk and Kering both send, and well, there's sadly no shaman for Kering. That would have definitely helped out a lot, but Lisk overall, he does have a lot of arcane armor, he does have some magic damage with the... How many Sus are there? 3 Sus, and the rogue wave buffing them, so there is potential in theory for Lisk to at least kill the major wave and then delay the rest, while maybe Jules and Danny are not able to hold this. I don't really know yet.
I was watching Lisk lane because he has a really strong setup, but he's low on value.
Yeah, and Jules actually looks pretty close. Like, Jules is very, very close between holding and leaking, and if he's leaking, this is actually looking really good for them.
It is in the end race.
Yeah, it is a race. There's the gate diff.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but well, there's 3% against 29%. Even though there's a gate difference, this first game is gonna go to Lisk and to Jules and Danny taking
Nice
the
game.
1-0. And I'm a bit sad about this now, because I think without those sends from Curring and Lisk 13-14, like those solo sends, they could have definitely won. Like, just imagine they go 14 straight, both of them. That might have been a win, right?
I think it was. I think Lisk and Curran could easily won the game if they don't panic send on 13-14.
Yeah, I'm really curious how the second matchup will evolve, because the castle is such a spicy pick these days. I personally feel like it's a really bad pick. Maybe a little bit better in duo play compared to solo, but I think overall it just has massive flaws at the moment, since games tend to end rather early than late.
Lock in Antler, let's go. I like they change it.
Yeah.
At least from Curring, they like it's a different looking and different spell, so I like they are not picking the same.
Well, but lock-in Antler, that actually seems to me like one of the worst lock-ins you can go for. Just being honest.
Yeah.
Because Antler's just so underwhelming. Like, Antler as a unit, especially as an opener, is something you really don't want to play. Like, every time you play Antler, you know your opponent had no other choice. There was actually nothing else to be done. If you go for some Antler opener. So yeah, I'm gonna have a special look on Curring playing the Antler with rare choices for other waves. Like Tempest for 3? Is that gonna be it? I don't know. What?
Maybe.
A little bit out of concept.
I'll just get the inspiration from Curring what she's gonna do.
Maybe she can convince us that Antler's actually broken as an opener, but I doubt a little bit. But what I really like...
4 king ups, no, 3 king ups, and Lisk is saving into Jules. Let's see.
Yeah, he wants to put up some pressure. I like this kinda. Especially against Anasera, actually, he was able to hit a unit you could pressure, because you still have this possibility to either 40 on 2, which Jules is predicting.
What do you think about Jules' positioning of the priestess?
Well, I know that Jules often, like, you see that the range is barely at the bottom of the wave, so he's gonna still have some space down there to position units. But I know that Jules likes it to build his units more towards the bottom of the lane in order to get more time in the very early waves. Because then obviously the units will need a few more seconds to travel down there, and this way he's able to likely generate a little bit more with him to stretch the game length, or the wave length in total. That's why I know that Jules loves to build that far behind. Usually I prefer to build a little bit more up, just that you have the flexibility to change out some units at the bottom, whatever you need.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the flexibility, because now he's like forced to build in some weird waves for me, but he's probably confident it's what he's doing. He's probably gonna build main only right side.
Curring now having a full tanking veteran instead of the Antler. Antler not tanking anything, which is gonna be fine for this wave, right? But for later waves, especially like 4, for example, I can already see problems here.
Yeah, and it's really hard to fix this positioning already. Like, it's already very hard to make Antler tank, even if it's in front. Like, you can build it in front and all the other units behind, and it's still hard to make it tank. So now she's gonna have a really hard time to make Antler tank.
Yeah, but now we have Lisk finally sending, who was saving since 1. I just wanted to mention this real quick, but back to the Antler. So what most people don't know that haven't played Legion for like almost 5 years as we did, Antler was never tanking, especially the White Man was never tanking in games, and people complained about it all the time. Till the devs found out that Antler was actually marked as a hovering unit, and this way never tanked before the ground units, because hovering does have some different pathing. And this is why the white man actually in the very first season never tanked, even though it was positioned correctly. It was actually a lot of fun when I found out.
I didn't even know it was hovering.
Oh, you didn't know?
No,
Well,
it's
something
new for
similar,
me.
happened to Honeyflower, which was busted for wave 17 the first 2 seasons, and everyone was like spamming it for 17, even though that magic damage, right, and 17 is arcane. So everyone thought, okay, this is just the busted percentual damage the Honeyflower has, till somebody found out, I don't know anymore, it wasn't the devs, it was some player who found out that the unit actually dealt pure damage instead of magic damage, and this is why it shred basically every wave. So there had been some hiccups, but a lot of funny ones.
We see quite a big sense here. 100 versus Lisk. 5 workers only with Ziozora opening, but he should be fine here.
Lisk's role looks really good. Like, he does have the Azora opener. I'm a little bit sad he didn't go for the Sea Dragon before, so maybe he could have pushed a little bit harder. He's quite overvalued now, but Sea Dragon Azora is already something you would like to go for. He does have Mudman to protect for all the bad waves Azora has, so his biggest issue at the moment is his lack of tanks, right?
Let's see if Lisk won't punish the Juice high push and Yozora, because he can for sure go for some brutes on 7 and Juice will leak quite heavily, I think. And I think he will go for it.
Well, the thing is the following. You do have an aggressive push on Jules, you just said it. But there is literally no defense right now that Jules does have. He got a little bit lucky with the reset on 5, so he knows the pressure on 6 isn't as high as it could be. But Jules is very limited, but now he's convincing himself to... Oh, he's not doing the greedy shift, not going for the Avenger next, so he likely has to upgrade some anglers, get a cat, whatever.
He's in trouble for sure.
Yeah, and so is.
And he's also and he's also saving quite a bit into Krink, and she's like overbuilding a little bit, but she pushed here to no sense, so that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I think she feels quite confident, right? There's a double veteran, there's the Daphne in the backline, so especially the damage output is not too bad for the following wave. The tank line is decent. I still miss the splits on her build though, right? She was not splitting the entire game last, she's not splitting right now, so I really would like some splits that could really help out cover the wave a lot better. Wow, and Liz going for the read with the imp. I love it.
Oh wow. Alright. So the imps are really good now, and we see the alpha male.
It seems like the devs have some secret data saying that imps on 7 are actually good. So maybe Jules should present us those data. I would really like to see it. But one thing that is interesting and that should be mentioned maybe is that Curring just got a fake send, a fake income send. The Jules shifted, I think it was around 40 Mythium for later waves. And yeah, I'm really interested in how this is gonna play out. If Curring is not over pushing, but she seemed to be a on-value gamer in general.
Perfect hold from Jules last second heal and full clear. So this is really good from Jules, holding on this wave with these units. I think he was in big trouble if he get the double brood here, but yeah. Now he's in driving seat. He has a lot of Mythium, a lot of workers.
That's for sure. Like at the moment, it looks really good for Jules once again. He's just having the worker lead. He was able to fake send with income, so building up some economy profit for himself. I think so far it's looking amazing for him.
One thing I don't like about the current build is that she's building his veterans around the white man. So
Mhm.
she's gonna waste a lot of spot if she upgrades the antler into white
That's
man.
true. Yeah.
It's the like cheap unit.
Mm. I do agree, right? The white man and the veterans, it's a combo you would not really see. Like every time I would be forced to do so in order to cover a certain wave, let's say 14, I would feel bad to just waste that much of a so effectful aura on such a useless unit like a veteran. I know it's hard to say, right? Useless unit, but in fact it is. In the end it is.
I mean, she could still fix it if she
Yeah.
like built antler here and like built around like this.
Hmm.
But
I
I'm
would
not sure
love
if
to
that's
see a
the
veteran
plan.
boost now, right? You do have the chances curring. She's getting a massive send due to the fake before, with a lot of bad units, right? There's basically only pierce damage against a fortified wave and nearly no defense. A veteran boost or maybe even two instead of the last rangers, I think it would have done a lot better on this particular wave than she will likely do now.
Kring is in trouble here.
She is, definitely. But Lisk, he's looking fine, right? He does have the regeneration on the gate with the Sea Dragon, so more or less summoning infinite units, which is amazing, right? You can see there's at least 3 units going to be alive at the bottom, and maybe the gate actually... no, it does not manage to stay alive with next tier, but Lisk will be able to cover quite a bit of Currents League, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm. There's a really good ult from Lisk here.
But we will still have the problem that Jules now, he's just running away in workers, right? He does have the most value, he does have the most workers, so he's just looking very solid in this game, as we can already see in the win probabilities. We have 57% favoring the West team with Danny and Jules, and now soon we will have Danny's income power spike with the castle hidden, right? He already is in a solid spot, and he's just gonna get buffed by 43 income after wave 10 has ended. And thus he's gonna have very strong time.
Lisk is probably said that he has this good roll from now when he's playing Redraw because he's not using the spell in first 10 waves, so that's a little bit sad. But
Yeah.
his roll is really good, and he's gonna try to league Jules here, maybe quick shutdown, because Jules is gonna leak for sure here.
Jules is, yeah, pretty sure gonna leak. He does have the Kingpin, it doesn't have a lot of stacks. The Asaria, or the priestess that it still is known as one of the worst units to have for 10, and Danny is not covering, so there's a little bit of gold going over to Lisk and curring, especially the shutdown is very important to mention here, right? There's an extra 50 gold for the East team that might give them some chances to develop their strategy.
Yeah, there are 2 offensive spells. What do you think they're gonna go here, or maybe 12?
Well, I think sending on 11 after they just received a send on 10 is a mistake, especially with Lisk not looking too great on 12. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 12 send. And in terms of offensive spells, I think that Lizard Army is by far the better spell. So I would definitely see Lizard Army to be picked if there's going to be a strong 12 play. What do you think? Like, we already see that there's...
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, but because I was too focused into this dragon turtle, this is like a missed opportunity to send a lizard if you need 12 gold, right?
Yeah.
So you're already faking the lizard army, but he's already
everyone's showing
here.
The builds, the spells already. So a very common strategy is to hide your spells if you do not need them yet. And I'm pretty sure we have Jules not needing the Titan yet. They just received a send last wave, and they likely don't receive another send here. So he definitely could have hided his spell just in order to, as you said, go for the lizard instead of the dragon turtle, fake a lizard army that way, and yeah, get into your opponent's head with some nice mind games. Maybe trick them like this, but now everyone was showing the Titan. Nobody will be able to receive more Mythium due to press the attack or lizard army. And this way I think everybody can relax. They still have their weak waves, Lisk for example on wave 12, but in the end it's gonna be a lot smaller sense than they could have been.
Alright, again we see big sense from Juice and Bonny on 12. They really like to send on this wave pretty hard, but now we're gonna see probably the not optimal build from Curry, because there's like no way she can like kite the big mercenaries like
please boost
Siege
Curry.
Ram, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Curry as well.
if she built a little bit on the left side, she could like kite the ram on the left, and then she would like clear a lot better.
Or she could have just boosted a veteran with a leftover 20 gold she still has.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough. I mean, she is able to clear quite a bit, leaking around 2/3 of the actual wave, but clearing the ads. And Lisk manages to hold with a very strong build overall. His main weak wave is going to be 14 for now, but obviously they lost a little bit of pressure with being forced to do king ups, but now they still have the advantage. They didn't full send, they didn't need to do so. They only did go for, I think, 5 king ups, 5 AoE ups was the actual call. So now they in theory have the game deciding wave to choose. They could still look for a wave, and I think 14 is the one to go for, right?
14 is for sure the wave they will aim to go. I was looking at the percentages. It was like 50-50 or 51 to 49 before 12, and now it's like 55-45, even though they leaked. So it's looking quite good. Karen is playing a little bit over value, and she's staying on 13 workers, but maybe it will be enough to leak Bonny.
I actually think that Jules is giving away a potential hold on 14 with placing the Avenger in a tanking position. So he could have just placed the Avenger on the opposite side
of
the wall in order to make his Antler Whiteman Kingpin tank the split and tank the main side in before the Holy Avenger does, and this way the Avenger is actually able to get into the AoE rage mode and hopefully hold, because now we have Jules and Danny both looking really bad, even though Danny does have the castle income. I think this could be a lot of damage against them, especially since they decided to not go for some income king play, but actually go for some proper send.
This sucks. Oh, you see the Azeri upgrade here?
Yeah.
On 14?
I do.
I wanted to say that the Curring is really looking strong here, but she upgraded the Azaria here, so I'm not sure.
And Lisk is not really great. Like, I really would love Lisk to harden his golems, because Curring, she's gonna be amazing on 15, right? But Lisk is gonna have a proper defender for 15 already, and 14 is by far his worst wave. But we will see. Just having a quick look over to Lisk and Curring so far looks decent. Maybe Lisk with enough summons could do good.
The Sov is already dead on Juice, and it was sniped by the 4-eye because it was on the right side, like you mentioned. So that was quite a decent misplay from him. So but we see big leaks from everything. And I think Juice and Danny gonna lose this game.
Yeah, they are.
Because they
Jules
have no
and Danny. The leaks are around the same size, right? Obviously there's 4-eyes against Danny and Jules, which is gonna matter a lot, but even without them dying, Lisk and Curring, they would have survived. They had a lot of king ups, and they actually managed to play this one out a lot better. Like they came into this advanced play, and I think that's amazing.
They was all the time behind. If you can check the graph, the win probability, and then one wave they strike and they finish the game. And I have to say, like, they kind of learned from their mistakes, because they also could do this exact same thing last game, but they panic after 12. But now they go together, and we see the difference.
Yes, you say it. I think especially this, they go together is like the key word here, right? I think my major upset in the last game was they did start to go for solo sense. And solo sense in such a game, especially so late in the game, which actually 13-14 at the moment is quite late into a game, is something you should not do unless you need to scale with income. But both players did not go for income, or they were not able to like execute one player, and then he's just out of the game. So I think those solo sends actually broke their neck, and they were in a position they could have tried to win. But in this game, they managed to do clear calls. I really love that each of them only did 100 Mythium into King Ups on 12, so they had a lot of left over to actually go for some late ascent.
I mean, I have to say, like, this was actually really well played from Lisk and Kering after then. Like
the calls were
little bit
insane.
income, big send, good sense, 4 eyes, and they see the Avengers. Really well played.
Do you see down at the bottom, there is now a special event marker?
Yeah, I saw it. It's really cool.
It's amazing. Like, it's not about like my stream now being marked as a special event, but what is even more important, there's now those possibilities, right? So maybe there's now some infrastructure where you actually have the special event for Nova Cups, Master Cups, whatever. So I think that brings a lot more attention to the players as well. So I feel the spirit at the moment. I feel the spirit at the moment with the latest patch notes, asking for reviews. I have this feeling that there's gonna be some stuff coming. Like I really feel like
special event.
Yeah, maybe some marketing push again, maybe some bigger cups. I don't know. Like it feels like they're working towards something. That's
hopefully. But it's really cool, little thing, this special event, because like I think like you just wanna click at it and just check what is going on.
Yeah. All right. Quick overview for you. Here is the list of mastermind options that are still available for the teams. We have now Lisk being unable to play redraw, and Kering, she still does have free choice since there's 2 lock-in spells for their team. And this is now a 1-and-1 series, which allows us to go into a third game that actually matters. We would have played 3 games anyway, but now we actually do have a third game that matters because we do have a tied score, and the last one is gonna decide it all. We have Jules and Danny being actually the favorites. I think 80% of the viewers that did the vote before favored Jules and Danny in the series against Lisk and Kering, showing them what's up.
What do you think Lisk is gonna pick with his lock-in? Do you think he gonna give a second chance to his Zeus?
I think he's gonna go for lock-in bazooka. He is gonna show. I mean, his Zeus opener was great, right? Up until 7, it all was fine. Like 7 and Zeus, not the best friends.
Double castle.
Wow. I love this. I love this play. It's so random, but I love it. It's actually a lot of fun.
It might be because also the spells are like super defensive, and like you see the magician buff. So
yeah, likely. Like it could very well be that the castle buff is actually something.
Like in the games where you don't see offensive spells, the castle is definitely stronger. Versus the games where you see the offensive spells.
I mean, especially with Divine Blessing, right? You could just get yourself such a powerhouse. Okay, you have it.
Yeah.
Lisk bazooka. But
Jules is sticking with his positioning. So let's see how he's gonna like right now. If he wants to go for Divine Blessing on his priestess, I think this is like too far in front.
Yeah.
His priestess, because it's hard to make sure her tank all waves like you want, because in each wave you kinda need to adjust. And it's hard to do like this, but let's see what he's gonna do.
I love it. Liz going for lock-in bazooka, just getting a good nightmare roll and having to ditch the bazooka. I love it.
That's also quite smart, right? That he's not like tunneling to one unit, and he saw the better roll. But he also could go for his bazooka, and he with the magician, right? Buffed magician.
That's
One
true.
circle, it's Zeus.
But he really did not have a lot of options, right? He did have the option to go Magician, Bazooka, and Steves, which at least would guarantee a lot of spells being casted. But apart from this, there weren't a lot of tanks, right? You had Banana Bank, you had Bark. I don't know. And Shadow remembers very well the lock-in Ranger from King Duns into not picking it as a troll and then losing the game in the end because of his BM. Very good times.
Double snail. Not gonna work out versus Danny here.
We saw it last game already, right? Lisk, he did start to play a bit different, not go for the vanilla king up on wave 1, but once he did go for straight 4, and this time he's gonna send a double snail, with one snail being played in income time on wave 2. So I really like him spicing up the early waves, just to be a little bit more unpredictable. I think this is especially important if you face the same opponents, either due to high elo or in tournament play, over and over again, to just mix up your potential openers so that your enemy cannot really guarantee a safe hold on one with a 5 worker opener or anything else.
And I know there's like high level, but if you play the castle, you are missing income, and with Survival Shroom, there could be like chance that he's not gonna get anything good for wave 2, right? Because he would miss the god, but he had the 80 god unit on wave 2, so he was saved versus this 40 cent.
And Chat is already calling out the show matches as rigged because there was no new unit. And actually, I played a lot of games yesterday. I'm pretty sure I played like 7 games yesterday. And I haven't had a new unit once myself. And I never saw the new spell in the game. I think there is no new spell. Well, that was a greedy one by Curring. I appreciate the greed. Gonna be honest, I appreciate the greed, but yeah.
So it's a little bit too greedy when your mate is also linking to one single snail on the wave 3.
Well, I think Lisk made the mistake going for the Vark, which is obviously, especially at this position, gonna be better for his combo, right? It's gonna be better for 4 and 5. It's gonna fit in there because he could upgrade the Lioness and put a Butcher here. So overall, this is a lot better for his whole team.
Look at these percentages. 63. What is it?
Oh,
it's like
37.
13, 26,
but now
26 difference.
The sends are coming out now, right? We have a massive send from Curring, sending 100 on 4 against Jules. And we have Danny receiving quite a bit of a send as well. And, well, the values, at least for Danny, look decent. But Jules, I mean, gonna be close for him. At least he got the Dino. Yeah, Jules gonna go for the league number 1. If Danny's not able to hold, which is going to be very close because Daphne added the consort, right, quite strong on wave 4. But this is going to be some king in response.
Oh yeah. Percentages should go back, but we see like 8 workers and they also already have 100. And Lisk is gonna get the imps on 5 with 7 workers and Work and Nightmare. I really feel like Lisk is gonna click super hard here.
It's gonna be a rough one, right? Imps on 5 are the vanilla play to go for, especially like half a year ago everybody was memeing about the send being so innovative. Just, oh, you have 100 Mythium on 5, well, no matter what your opponent has, go for Imps. And they still are insane on 5, and yeah, you said it. Right, Lisk is so vulnerable against them. We have Curring not looking on 5 in general. She doesn't manage to make her Pilgrim tank, which is the thing you would aim for if you have a Yosora and a Pilgrim. You would always try to let the Pilgrim tank the boss on 5 and the Yosora the rest. So the heal is gonna spread on all the units, and this will result in, oh no.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Well, he lost the Nightmare early.
He also built these buzzes behind the Nightmare, which is like...
Yeah. So the biggest problem now, not only that the game is nearly over at this point, 4 imps reaching the king on wave 5. Is it over?
No.
If it's not over,
too strong.
We have massive lead on Jules. We have a lead on Danny just because they have worker and now income lead as well. But they on top have the castle power spike, right? Every little bit of gold and worker they get ahead over their opponents before wave 10 is perfect, because after wave 10 they're both gonna get plus 43 income and they're just gonna run away and stomp all their opponents.
Like playing double castle and being so far ahead early game is already like really game over.
We see the comments in the chat, right? Having an OP early game with castle is just nuts. There's actually nothing you can do. If that does happen to you, it gotta end in the cheese. But you're down to 33%, 22 king HP, and you do not really have a lot of options right there.
You're gonna see a little bit leak from Jules at least here, but again, it might be even hot. But yeah, it's really good from Juice because they have like more workers, more Mythium, but it's actually easy.
Look at this! Jules might have been trapped. Jules just did push 2 workers into the Dino Send, incurring being able to resend Dino Snail, so Dino going to the right sides, and gonna keep the Alpha Male a little bit away from the wave for some time. Lisk going for the double Brood here, and as soon as the 2 Broods reach the Canopy, there's no hold for Danny as well, so this could be some potential leak for them, and hopefully a lot of king ups in order to come back into the game.
Danny kite a little bit more to the right, then it would be a little bit better, but looks like it's actually perfect. Alright, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. So I mean, they know better, so
and
really good, really good hold. Yeah, they're gonna both hold.
Well, now Jules, he's just pushing insanely, taking the advantage here, right? We already see the Mimic coming out from Danny, which is an amazing send against the setup Curring does have. Well, a Mole would have been insane against Fire Elementals as well, because as we all know, Aqua's weak wave is 8. In fact, I think this game is pretty much over, right? Jules is already going back to old form, sending Cannoneer over actual units.
When we see double Cannoneer, we know that Jules is feeling alright.
He's either feeling alright or he's feeling like he really does have the scale. Well, the thing is, Danny trying hard with the Mimic could result in at least the wave being held, because the Aquas are still gonna deal the splash damage to the wave, right? Which is actually gonna be amazing for Curring, because as she manages to hold the wave, this is gonna be overall good for her. And the thing is, Lisk only receiving income and king, especially with the rest of the 14 with him, he's able to hold here as well. So overall, especially for Lisk, it's very good. Curring a little bit unlucky, not clearing a lot of the wave, even though
this is like penny leak right here, right?
Yeah, it is obviously a penny leak.
It's like worst case scenario for her. Like she's damaging almost
like,
everything.
Especially the
like
Mimic.
Yeah.
Mimic already cashing 18 gold. Unfortunate. But maybe we can talk about some optional cheeses Lisk and Curring now can go for in order to actually get some chances on the win here.
Oof.
I mean, they showed us last game that they are able to guess when their opponent send, hold that send, and then try to go for the reverse sweep on another wave. And I think pretty much this is maybe something you need to go for now.
Maybe if the castle kick in and then Jules and Danny gonna be on like 100 shutdown each and they fucked up one wave, maybe this is something.
Well, we already have something happening I would have never estimated. So first of all, we had Lisk. He was shifting for the doppelganger to protect himself on 10, but that is not needed anymore, and he's now pushing because Jules and Danny, being in the lead, decide for going full king ups. I really don't understand this play. Like they had everything in their favor, and now releasing all the pressure from their opponents with this play. So maybe, and I really hope this is gonna happen, Lisk and Curring are gonna find the 12th end. I think 12 is the wave. They could actually come back into this game. A nice 12 into 14. We have Danny not having any damage for 12, and this way he's not going to be able to hold there. Jules, he does have some sources of damage with the marks and alpha males that he already shows us, but obviously an Asaria overall isn't the best unit on wave 12, especially if you want to partitionally tank it. So I think 12 would be the go-to wave in order to try for some undercut.
Maybe Jews already know that the 12 is coming from the builds, and they are like already having like full king, so even if they leak, they are not gonna die. And it's like 3 defensive spells, they should be fine. And also they have the castle, so it's if it kicks in and like the opposing team is saving, it's gonna still make a huge difference.
Jules already doubling the income of Lisk. Maybe the intention behind his king ups is just, okay, you can try to cheese us, but I'm just gonna overvalue as hell from now on and gonna carry this game this way. You're not gonna get through me. And well, we have income sense from Lisk and Currying. I think this is just a play to they fear to get big sense now, or maybe they fear to overall get sense now, not being able to hold. But this is not gonna help them out to do anything.
No, the 12 was one opportunity to leak at least by Danny, but Danny showed the bank on 10, so maybe they feel they don't have the 12 as well. So now it's really rough for them to do anything.
I love everyone going for those GA plays, right? I think Divine Blessing would have been a lot better for Lisk and for Jules. Both having some sources of carry units. And I think Divine Blessing, at least on a Nightmare, is gonna give you so much sustain and damage. Like those 18% attack speed are just gonna be nuts on a Nightmare.
Yeah, I agree with you that the Divine Blessing on Nightmare is way better than GH.
Yeah.
But once it died, it's over. But they should not look at it because like they are super far behind anyway.
Nice. What I like, we had Lisk. He was not going for the full send last, okay? So he's still shifting some gold. And I think, especially after the send coming now, we can see that the next best option for Lisk and Currying is gonna be wave 14. The only problem is that Danny already starts to massively overbuild because he somehow sees this spot they're in, and Currying, she just doesn't have enough workers to maybe get Jules, especially he's already like showing some weapons against 14 with a Doomsday Machine. So it's gonna be rough.
Danny also is sending a Pack Leader and Hermit while also shifting 100 Mythium.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So now Currying is holding this send.
Yeah. If you convince yourself to send non-income units, you should always go for a full send unless you really want to fake it and you say, okay, I'm gonna fake it here and then I let my opponent push and then I'm gonna resend double brute for 7, for example. But unless this is your intention, you should always go for a full send if you start to send non-income mercenaries, because they just are efficient if your opponent leaks. They're never efficient if he's just holding, because then you can just send income unit.
I'm trying to see any comeback, but it's really hard to see. Like, well, maybe 16 if they survive.
Yeah.
But Liski already has like 500, so not sure he can save much longer here.
Well, Jules is already giving Lisk and Currying plus 1% compared to last wave. So now they're not on 50% win probability anymore, but they're actually on 16%. So that already shows they have chance.
Alright, let's see the percentage now. Can we see any hold from Lisk on the next wave? He's really undervalued.
He's very undervalued. I mean, he can go double and yeah, nothing.
17 now, so
Currying
it's getting better.
Oh! Oh.
Hmm?
Doomsday Machine. Currying had the option of a Doomsday Machine, upgrading to Aquas here. 3 Aquas. I think that's a leak. So I think overall, even if Jules and Danny are leaking, I think Lisk and Currying aren't able to hold themselves, and this way likely are gonna lose this game on the wave. Well, there's no 4i against Lisk, and the percentages are going +1 again in their favor. So maybe Lisk without a 4i being able to only leak like 100%. But Currying, look at this. If Currying does a Doomsday Machine, she's likely gonna hold, right?
You mean Doomsday?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but
well, this is it.
yeah.
This is
GG.
just the game.
Well played by Jules and Danny.
Yeah, they just managed to do this insane break on wave 3, right? We had Currying going for a hard greed with 6 workers on the Yosora. We had Lisk not choosing the perfect option for his 3-cent against the Snail. With the Steed, he pretty much held this one. So I think this was already a little bit game deciding, and then long wave 4 into Imps on 5, this was just the game changer. And I think after that happened, the game was by far in their hands, and well, in the end it was nearly impossible for Lisk and Currying to turn this around.
Yeah, exactly. After the wave 5, there's like nothing you can do.